Visit rentwaterheater.com or call this number 401-335-5551. Vamco of Cumberland. More clouds than sun today with a high near 72, only a 20% chance of rain. Tonight, a 50-50 chance of some showers overnight after midnight, mostly cloudy, overnight low of 59 degrees. Sunday's weather mostly cloudy with a high near 78, calm wind. The chance of rain on Sunday is 60%. Monday, sunshine with a high of 79. Tuesday, sunny and 77. Wednesday, sunshine and 81. Thursday, mostly sunny skies with a high of 81. And on Friday, partly sunny with a high of 81 degrees. Currently outside our Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio here on Park Avenue in Woonsocket, it's 66 degrees. This is the one and only ON Radio.
It's the worldwide sound of ON Radio.
Good morning and welcome to the Cheap Seats with Pat and Kevin, Rhode Island's only local sports talk show on Saturday mornings. I'm Kevin Callahan and as always joined by my friend and co-host Pat Holland. Pat, top of the morning, how's everything going with you this week? Ooh, got the LaSalle soccer shirt.
LaSalle soccer.
All right.
It's going.
Moving week this week for you.
Yeah, moving week. Yeah.
What's that?
Moving week.
Yeah.
Last
week?
Tuesday. This past Tuesday.
Okay, 5 days ago. It's all one big blur.
Yeah.
So
she's already home, so it didn't last long. No, she came
classes
home
are that tough already.
Yeah, no.
I'll be moving my daughter in next week. I got to move a refrigerator up for her yesterday, loaded it into the car, did something to my arm. It still hurts. I don't know what I did.
Should be on the IL.
I should.
I don't know. I can't make it.
But,
Luckily, she's on the first floor this year, so it was quick, easy, painless.
Were there people there to help with the move?
No. She's in before.
Oh, I'm hoping there's people there to help my daughter.
No, there won't be.
So
there won't be. Well, is she? Oh no, there will be for her.
Yeah, I hope so.
She's a spring sport.
Right. So she's just regular move-in day.
Right.
Her roommate's a volleyball player, so she's already in. So
I think the fall athletes have to help people move in.
Excellent. So we took advantage of a fall athlete to get the refrigerator up there, some bedding up there to make the move a little bit easier on Thursday on my end. So, but so that's the big day. So get the empty nest syndrome going, and then they come back 3 or 4 days later anyway.
Yeah.
Right? It's okay.
Yes. Doesn't matter.
So, all right. So, busy week as well in the sports world. Happenings locally, nationally. So, some stories that we want to touch on. Shohei Ohtani be coming to the Red Sox in some weird move. Who knows? We'll get into all that. But as always, let's go around Rhode Island and New England and get you caught up. Cumberland High School and Lincoln High School are taking their rivalry to the next level in what's being called the Battle of the Blackstone, and they will play for the Battle of the Blackstone Cup every year. How will this championship be decided? Every time the Cumberland Clippers and the Lincoln Lions defeat each other in a game, match, meet, whether it's in the regular season or playoffs, they will receive points, which will be compiled through the upcoming 26-27 school year. If they tie, they both get a point. A regular season victory will get the school 2 points. If they meet in the playoffs, and whoever wins gets 3 points, and if for some reason they meet in the championship game, whoever wins gets 5 points. According to Lincoln Athletic Director Greg O'Connor, you're going to see the field hockey kids going to soccer games, the soccer kids going to the volleyball matches, and some kids are going to be like, we're down 2 points, we need this game. It's a quote from Greg O'Connor. And at the end of the fall, you can see the standings. They'll promote all this on social media and our websites. I'm sure we'll be updating it as the season goes along. Marty Crowley, the Cumberland Athletic Director, added in a quote, "It's a collaborative effort from Lincoln and Cumberland Athletic Departments and the administration. It adds excitement to our fan bases and communities to an already great rivalry with our neighbor. The only sports not participating is football, because they don't actually play each other during the regular season, and boys volleyball, as Cumberland does not yet have a team." So on Saturday, September 5th at 11 a.m. at Tucker Field in Cumberland, the two schools' girls soccer teams will try and land the first punch in their Division I clash, which is a rematch of last year's state quarterfinals that the Lions won in a shootout. Before we go on to the next topic, your thoughts on the Cumberland
Yeah, I think
Lincoln?
it's always pretty cool when you add, especially those close, the town lines, right?
Right.
I think they actually, the way they did it is they met at where the town line is on some bridge, which I'm not as familiar with the
And
area.
the Valley Breeze had a picture of it with the
Yeah.
Cumberland athlete standing on Cumberland and
Yeah.
Lincoln athlete standing on Lincoln. A really cool picture.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So anytime you can put a little bit of added competition, right, to it, especially in high school, it's always great, and I'm sure it's a friendly thing, and hopefully the kids take it that way too, and they enjoy it. And
When I grew up, everything was Cumberland and Lincoln combined.
Right.
And then they split as the towns grew. So it's kind of neat, I think, just to see this rivalry and make it, hey, the swim match. Swim meet means
everything-
something.
everything
Everything
matters.
counts right now. So so I'm assuming even in a cross country meet, if say Cumberland finishes 7th and Lincoln finishes 8th overall, Cumberland still gets the extra 2 points because they beat Lincoln in that
I would-
situation.
yeah, I
So
would assume.
so a little extra emphasis. I like the idea that maybe some of the swimmers will go to the field hockey game just to root on extra fans at these games, as we see from covering high school sports. How great it is when you get the fans and the students that show up at these games just to add that extra atmosphere. So
yeah,
I'm pretty excited for it.
always good stuff whenever you can come up with something like this.
Right.
I think it's great for the athlete, the student athlete especially.
Absolutely.
So, also in high school football news, just over the border in Massachusetts, the MIAA is adding a Super 8 football tournament in 2027. The board approved the new postseason format in a 12-2 vote last Wednesday. The top 8 Division I and II teams will compete in a single elimination tournament without opt-outs. The top
to play.
8 teams from Division I and II will be removed from their normal division path to play in the Super 8 bracket. The playoffs field reduction from 16 to 8 teams per division cuts 1 week of postseason play, allowing for a new single 9-game regular season. According to Tyler Hedo of the Sun Chronicle, no word yet on how or where the new Super Bowl will be played. Currently in Mass, they break the Super Bowl down to Division I through 8 and play their Super Bowls at Gillette Stadium. Will Mass add a 9th Super Bowl or eliminate the 8th spot? Massachusetts also approved Super 8 in baseball and hockey for both boys and girls to begin in the upcoming spring for baseball and next season for hockey.
A couple of people I did talk to about that. They would actually like to see that Super 8 Super Bowl at a place like Holy Cross to maximize tickets and TV, played on a separate date than the other Super Bowls at Gillette. I just wondered, will the players and coaches and parents and families be upset that, hey, we're in the Super 8, why don't we get to play at Gillette? And then if you start eliminating, I can't imagine Massachusetts having 9 Super Bowls. There's only 4 Super Bowls in Texas, and they're at 8. They're at too many Super Bowls as it is now in Mass. So I just be curious to see how that plays out. But that'll start this spring with baseball and then next football season. So, and that's just over the border in Massachusetts. So, all right, over at Providence College, they have a new goalie on campus in the form of 6'6" Gibson Homer. Homer was expected to go to the East Coast Hockey League. For those that don't know, that's like AA of hockey. After playing in North Dakota last year and 3 previous years at Arizona State. But he opted for a 5th year at Providence when a spot opened up a few weeks ago when their previous goalie became academically ineligible. In his 4 years in college, Homer has played in 44 games, recording a 25-13-4 overall record, 2.44 goals against average, 914 save percentage, and 3 shutouts. Looks like, looking at the stats really quick, he's just kind of split his time, never playing more than 16 games in a year, so doesn't look like he'll be carrying the full load, but 6'6", no sleepies. I mean, from that commercial, he's a big size guy. So
Big boy.
yeah, exactly.
And in Little League World Series action, Bridgewater, Mass dropped their opener Wednesday night to New Jersey by a score of 2-1, losing on a walk-off home run. They will try to stay alive this afternoon at 4 when they take on the team from the Great Lakes on ESPN.
Interesting play where the guy left early.
Yeah,
game.
and I, My wife says, "Why are we watching this?" I said, and there was a play. I think a kid hit a double.
Yeah, down the left field line.
Or actually, it was a double. Man on second, he hits a double down the left field line, but the runner on second had left early before the hit. So before the pitch crossed the plate, which is the rule in Little League, he had it wasn't by a lot.
No.
And so he had come around to score. The other kid got to second, and then they put him back on second. And
Yes.
the batter runner at that point went from second back to first. And I immediately sent you a text. Are you
Exactly.
watching this game?
Yeah,
you don't see that call often, but
And I wasn't 100% sure of the rule because I thought it was almost umpire's discretion where maybe they put him back on third.
thinking
I was
he would have at least had third anyway.
Exactly. No
Yeah,
real
no, it's
advantage.
automatic. If you leave early, you go back to the base that you were originally at.
And in softball, which is very similar dimensions to a Little League field, if you leave early, you're out.
Yeah,
Or if
I
you
like
get
that.
caught automatically, and I believe the play is just dead. I don't know what happens with the hit on that, but the runner is out. So sometimes you'll see that in a blowout to preserve stats. They'll purposely have a runner leave early, call the person out, so the person doesn't at bat. Oh, so the runner, I guess the batter is out because they don't want to give that person an out as well on that. So, so interesting rules going on in Little League Baseball. So, all right, after winning 13 out of 16, the Worcester Red Sox have now lost 6 of their last 7 games. That stretch now has Worcester with a record of 27-21 in the second half, dropping them from first place to fourth place, but still just 2.5 games out of first. On the rehab front in Worcester, Isaiah Kiner Falefa is 1 for 6 in 2 games. In 4 games, Trevor Story is 3 for 13. Both players, no extra base hits yet on their rehab assignment. Speaking of rehab, Roman Anthony is doing that up in Portland for the Sea Dogs in 3 games with them. Roman is 3 for 8 with a double, a home run, and 3 RBIs. I did see the home run. The thing was bombed.
Shot, yeah.
So hopefully he's getting his stroke down and can make an impact this year in Boston. He has also worked a couple of walks as well. Lastly, down on the farm, as we've been doing all year, Christian Campbell, since Mickey Gasper was recalled on the 16th, is 1 for 11, and his average has dropped back to 250 on the season. Just incredible what he does when Mickey Gasper's in the clubhouse. He's a 320 hitter. When he's on, he's under 200. I don't get it, but it's just really weird. Franklin Arias, the highly touted shortstop playing in Worcester, and according to my brother Joe, hopefully for the next 3 years, has slipped a bit down to 291, though still maintaining his RBI to games played pace with 22 RBIs in 22 games. The Woo Sox finish up their road trip this weekend and then come home Tuesday to face the Yankees farm team, the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Rail Riders. Of note, the games now begin at 6:05 up at Polo Park. This coming week, regular 4:05 and 1:05 starts next weekend.
And to the professional soccer, the New England Revolution lost in Toronto 2-1 last Saturday, dropping to 4th place. They played Wednesday night at DC United and bounced back, winning a 3-0 game behind Al Hassan Youssef's career-defining performance, scoring his first hat-trick in his MLS career. The Revs remain in 4th and host NYFC tomorrow at 4:30 at Gillette. RIFC lost to Tampa last Saturday 2-0, dropping into 7th place. They play at home tonight, beginning at 7:30 versus Monterey Bay FC.
Yes. Got all that?
Yeah.
And one other, before we go to break, one of the more interesting rumors we heard, John Rook had retweeted, looked it up. The UFL, for people that don't know, is basically a combined XFL and USFL when they tried to relaunch it. I think The Rock is still involved with that, Dwayne Johnson. And the rumor is that Birmingham wants to relocate their team to Centerville Bank Stadium in Pawtucket. It's a spring league that starts right after, a couple weeks after the Super Bowl ends. It's a minor league. It's for people that, for players that are hoping to catch on either Canada or the NFL as well. And so I did a quick look. one team averaged 26,000 fans a game. Centerville Bank seats 10,000, but the average crowd, Pat, is about 8,000. I think they said the median, and really nobody else was drawing over 10,000 on average, with the lowest being 5,000. I think this could work. I don't know what your initial thoughts are of minor league football at Centerville Bank Stadium in Pawtucket. Could this work?
I mean, I think they're looking for ways to fill that stadium
Yes, they are.
anyway, and I think they've had a decent run. I mean, they had their concert thingamajiggy, whatever.
Oh yeah, they had
Lollapalooza
last week with
type
Sublime
thing.
and a couple other music fests.
From everything I've seen, that was well attended.
Yes.
And they get the soccer going. They got Boston Legacy playing their current games there now, at least through the end of this season. I think they have one more game there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know anything long term. Like if it would be like if they come here, they're gonna sell out the stadium for years. But I think there'd be an interest in it, and then it like anything else up here, it depends on how good you are.
Right. I mean,
You put a good product in the field, people are gonna go watch it.
They play a 10-game season, so that right off the bat, 5 home games. I think it's smart of the UFL. I don't know where they're playing their games. Will they play? But it's smart not to try to play their games at a Gillette Stadium.
Right.
Get them into these 10,000 seat stadiums, and then if they're starting to outgrow, like a long time ago proposed a revolution. Play their games at McCoy Stadium because they were averaging about 8 or 9, 10,000 a game. Like, oh great, McCoy seats about 11 or 12,000. Put the team there. They would have outgrown McCoy now because they're actually getting about 20, 22,000 a game at Gillette. Gillette's still too big for the Revolution.
Soccer doesn't work well on baseball.
No.
No. I mean, that's why New York's
They'd have
getting
to
out of
flatten that
Yankee
mound.
Stadium.
Because it's flattened
Well,
that
no,
mound.
they
I
only
just-
played in the outfield.
Yeah, no,
So
it's tough seating, and I get that. But point being, though, a smaller stadium.
Yeah.
And then if they outgrow a Centerville Bank Stadium, then you look for the next bigger venue, which I'm not quite sure what's in between. Something like a Fenway Park, I guess. But you worry about that down the road. So I think it'll be interesting. It's a good time of year. And think about this. This just came to my mind now. Should this kick happen next year? No, it's not happening in March, April, and May. Is Major League Baseball.
This is true.
So people will be looking for something, something to watch or something to go to. So it'd be interesting. So if you have any thoughts on that, give us a call, 401-766-1240. When we come back, by request from one of our California listeners, if he's up and awake, we are going to discuss some West Coast baseball. Could Shohei Ohtani become a free agent? And how is that tied to the Lakers being sold after the previous owners only owned the team for 14 months? Also, the return of Rafael Devers to Fenway Park last night. How did that go? Patriots making some news this week as they prepare to play the Eagles tonight. We'll have some Christian Gonzalez thoughts as well. And again, we want to hear from you. Give us a call, 401-766-1240. You can join us in the cheap seats on ON Radio 99.5 FM, 1240 AM, Woonie TV on YouTube, and OneSocketRadio.com. And looking for a better banking experience? At SCU Credit Union, you're more than a customer, you're a member. As a member-owned credit union, SCU puts people first, not shareholders. From checking and savings to mortgages, car loans, and business loans, you'll find a full range of banking services under one roof, plus easy digital banking wherever life takes you. Best of all, SCU offers personal service with a team that answers your questions, explains your options, and helps you make smart financial decisions. Visit a convenient branch or learn more at scucu.com. SCU Credit Union, banking built around you.
Your certified Buick GMC dealer serving drivers throughout Woonsocket and the surrounding areas is Tasca Buick GMC. At Tasca, you'll find a solid selection of new Buick GMC models, as well as a carefully inspected lineup of pre-owned vehicles. They also have a well-connected finance center run by a qualified team of finance experts who can help you get the right loan or lease in a quick, easy, and transparent manner. Tasca Buick GMC, 55 Fortin Drive, Woonsocket. Visit TascaBuickGMC.com. Tasca Buick GMC. You will be satisfied.
Providing experienced, compassionate care when you need it. That describes North Smithfield and Lincoln Urgent Care Centers. Their mission is to make you feel safe and reassured about the nature and severity of minor illnesses like lacerations, sprains, ear and sinus infections, stomach and back discomfort, and more. Both facilities have X-ray and lab facilities on premises. North Smithfield Urgent Care, 594 Great Road, North Smithfield, 768-3400. Open Monday through Friday 9 to 8 and Saturday 9 to 5. And Lincoln Urgent Care, across from Lincoln Mall, 333-9595. Open weekdays 9 to 9, Saturday and Sunday 9 to 5.
Micho's Auto Body is a name you've heard for a long time, and over the years, they've kept up with the very latest technology, including water-based paints used by manufacturers and a full review of the vehicle to be sure that all the technology is performing properly. Micho's assists with all the details, calling the claims office, scheduling appraisals, arranging rentals, and before you leave, detail your vehicle. All work is 100% guaranteed while you own your car. Micho's Auto Body, 430 Privilege Street, Woonsocket. Visit MichaudAutobody.com.
ON, AM, and FM.
And welcome back to the Cheap Seats with Pat and Kevin here on OneSocketRadio.com, and you can watch on ON Worldwide, Woonie TV. If you miss any part of it, go back, watch it on demand as well. So, all right, Pat, the Dodgers owner, Mark Walter, is under a federal investigation right now, a whole lot of pressure. He was also owner of the Lakers for 14 months, and now he's selling not only the Lakers, he's selling some shares in Chelsea. What does all this mean for Shohei Ohtani and there's, 6 other guys that have these deferred contracts that go out to, the mid-2030s to the early 2040s, I think it is. And or what's going on? You shot me the information this week, tried to break it down to simplest terms, but it looks like it's going to be a mess out in L.A.
Yeah, I mean, it's all going to, be dictated by what comes out of this federal investigation. I mean, nothing could end up coming out of it, but certainly not something that he wants to be in the middle of. He also owns a professional women's hockey league team, or I believe he owns the PWHL.
Does he know where the Walter Cup is? It went missing. Did you hear about that?
No.
Yeah, it went to show up in Alberta, so a person could have their day with the cup like they do in the NHL.
Yeah,
and,
maybe.
And a package showed up with nothing in it. They don't know where the cup is. Sorry.
Yeah.
So maybe
that's why it's called the Walter Cup. It's his.
Maybe it's up for sale on eBay right now.
But no, I mean, obviously everyone knows that the Dodgers have a lot of money tied up that is deferred out past the next 10 years.
To 2047 is how far
so
deferred
Ohtani's
contract.
only making like $2 million a year currently, but that balloons up as well as other players that they've just signed.
Right.
So it'd be interesting to see what happens with that. I don't know what the ramifications are if he's found guilty and he doesn't quite end up having as much money as he's supposed to have, in what that whole thing, what the fallout is from that. But I'm sure these guys are probably like, are we secure? Are we going to get paid? Like, where's this money going to come from if he goes under?
Right. They said if Walter decides to sell, Ohtani can basically become a free agent overnight, because the contract, if he doesn't sell, he's not paying, or he can't pay the deferred if he doesn't own the team, which I was always wondering on these deferred contracts anyway. Any new owner, it starts at 2034, goes to 2047. This is just for Shohei, not to mention the other guys that are deferred.
I would assume, and I don't know, I'm not an expert, but I would assume like anything else you're going to buy, if you're buying a company that is, contract driven, right? Essentially, like even in my business, like, if I'm going to buy a management company, I'm buying the company for the contracts that they have. If those contracts go away after I buy it, then what is it worth? It's worth nothing.
Right.
So for this guy, it's like, well, if somebody's buying the team, they're looking at, that's going to be heavily weighted on the price. Well, whatever it's worth. It's worth $100 billion.
And it's gonna be
Well, but
billions.
you owe them billions.
Billions in salary.
So it's interesting. I mean, look what the Celtics. When the Celtics sold,
Right.
what was the immediate response? Was we have to get under the
first
first apron.
Yeah.
Because for them, it's an it's a investment based on that. They're not in it for. They're looking to get the highest return on their investment over the next few years, and if
Right.
they're spending at that level, then it's a much different game for these VCs, because he's probably the primary, but there's a lot of other people under him. Like Busty still owns shares in the Lakers.
I think they're just getting
which
out
they're
of it.
trying to sell now.
Yeah,
probably,
it's a big family.
yeah, probably so. It'd be interesting to see what happens.
So, and basically, if the Dodgers declare bankruptcy after all this, and if the player has an unsecured creditor fighting to get pennies back on the dollar, Ohtani $680 million with collateral, zero collateral, almost has no bearing, which could mean that he becomes a free agent. I mean, this is going to be very interesting. Again, this isn't house flippers. People, they flip. Something's fishy when you buy a franchise and 14 months later you sell it for. They did make a little profit on it, but it's crazy that you would sell the Lakers just 14 months after buying it. So interesting. to say
Even
the
though
least.
they did sell it for a pretty good profit,
They did
but
make a
still,
profit on it.
I mean, who's in the business of buying up these sports teams to then flip them
They don't
14 months later?
Exactly.
I mean, I guess he made a little bit of money off of it. But
The Celtics owner made a radio appearance to promote the Jimmy Fund.
Yeah.
They had a 2-day fundraising event up in Boston, and they asked him about this, and he said, "I'm not going anywhere." He didn't get into any details on the Lakers. I'm sure he's in the know on what's going on, but basically he said he's not going anywhere. They're in it for the long haul, as are most ownership groups, unless they find out they're not making money and something's up. And again, he sold his shares in Chelsea SC. The little bit I know about European soccer, that's Chelsea's a team I've heard of. Them, Man U. I mean, these are teams I've heard of, so they must be rich, famous, and popular.
yeah, so I'm just reading a quick article here. It says, actually none of this touches the teams yet. The timing is awkward for the NBA, though. The league's board of governors unanimously approved Walter's record $10 billion purchase of the Lakers last fall. The subpoenas that had been issued had landed earlier in February and stayed out of the public view until now. And it's worth noting that Walter's spending turned the Dodgers into the sports standard. He has started remaking the Lakers the same way. Unfortunately, the motto runs on capital, now sitting under a federal microscope. If charges ever reach Walter personally, MLB and NBA would have decisions to make. Historically, however, cases like this rarely make it to the courtroom. And then it says Walter also owns the entire Professional Women's Hockey League. 12-team Professional Women's Hockey League launched with Billie Jean King in 2023. Championship trophy today is named after him, which is apparently missing.
Supposedly on its way to Alberta
That's,
to spend the day with one of the players that won, like they do at the Stanley Cup.
This is quoted directly from the USA Today. So interesting. For
Interesting.
sure.
Yeah. So, all right. So, why don't we take a break? If you have any thoughts on that story, give us a call, 401-766-1240. When we come back, let's get into the return of Rafael Devers. The Giants returned, to Fenway Park last night. Red Sox are doing well for themselves now, find themselves 10 games over 500 again. So, if you have any thoughts on what we just talked about, Patriots, Red Sox, give us a call, 401-766-1240 on ON Radio 99.5 FM, 1240 AM, and OneSocketRadio.com.
State Line Service and Tire Center services all vehicles, including late model cars and light trucks. Your late model vehicle is a highly sophisticated piece of equipment featuring a network of sensors and switches that monitor engine performance and efficiency. When a problem arises, it's important for your technician to know if your check engine light warning is a real problem or just a sensor computer issue. So be safe and be sure. Don, Kevin, and Sean believe in communicating and explaining. State Line Service and Tire Center, 1209 Social Street, Woonsocket, at the State Line.
Woonsocket Door Sales can handle any kind of door installation, including residential and commercial, paying special attention to your door's infrastructure, such as framework repair, to ensure that your door is firmly in place. Woonsocket Door Sales is a fourth-generation family business, installing and repairing all types of doors. Please visit their website at woonsocketdoorsales.com to see a gallery of door styles, manufacturers, and testimonials from satisfied customers. Woonsocket Door Sales, 767-3448. Call Amy Bebo at 767-3448.
Bringing over 3 decades of experience to every home improvement project, Moran Corporation, formerly A.J. Moran, combined traditional craftsmanship with modern techniques to deliver results that stand the test of time. Open Monday through Saturday, 7 to 5, Moran Corporation has seasoned firewood for just $165 for half a cord and $300 for a full cord of wood. And what better place to put that firewood than a new fireplace made out of veneer stone with granite mantles. Contact Jack Moran at 781-267-8920 for information about these fireplaces, firewood, and other home improvement ideas, or visit their new website at MoranCorporation.com. As always, Moran Corporation continues transforming your property with expert hardscaping.
OWN Radio.
And welcome back to the Cheap Seats with Pat and Kevin. Pat and Kevin here on OWN Radio. All right, the return of Rafael Devers last night at Fenway Park. By any chance, did you catch it? Did you tune in?
I saw bits and pieces of it.
Did you see his first at bat?
I did.
What were your initial thoughts? The fan reaction, or
I thought there were more boos than cheers, and I think rightfully so.
I agree. I think there were more boos than cheers, but I also feel like there was a lack of mostly indifference. Like if there was 35,000 people there, I'll give you 5,000 or 6,000 boos, 2,000 or 3,000 cheers, and a lot of like who? Oh yeah, right. Oh yeah. Why do we care? It seemed like a lot of indifference. People didn't realize he was necessarily coming up until they announced his name. I don't know if this is just the way it is, and nowadays with the way people switch teams or whatever. But I wasn't sure how it was going to go. I thought there might have been more cheers. Time heals all wounds. He's not, he's with San Francisco now.
Yes.
They're out of it.
Yeah, he's not doing anything.
Right. He does lead the team in home runs, but he's hitting under 250. A little dust up with his manager when he wouldn't come out for a pinch runner back in June. Word on the street is, the Giants would like to get out from under his contract and shop him around. He is playing first base. That was the big contentious point. He did admit, I guess, in a quote that he was a little bit immature last year, and he's grown and matured and realized it was a business. To revisit it, do you think he was in the right? Do you think the Red Sox were in the right? Do you think we're both wrong, both right? What were your thoughts on how that all went down to where we are right now?
I think the conversation probably should have happened sooner, like earlier in the season. Like maybe it could have. I'm not quite sure it was relayed to him like in the spring training when they actually picked up Bregman, like, hey, we want you to play first. Then and there, I don't think it was really clear,
right,
to him. But at the end of the day, it's a business, and these guys have to understand. You're getting paid whatever he was getting paid, $30-something million.
Such a high contract.
To do basically whatever we asked you to do.
Right.
It's not like they wanted him to be the everyday DH or he was going to come out off the bench. It was like, we want you to go just move across the field.
Right.
I do put a lot of blame on his team, if you will.
Right.
Like, how do you not say, hey, Rafael, like, let's just look at the numbers. Like, you're the worst third baseman, and he had nothing to stand on.
Right. Stats are stats.
Yeah, I mean, you're the worst third baseman in the MLB right now.
Right.
They have a third baseman that is better than you, that they're also paying a significant amount of money. So you're going to shift over and play first.
Right.
It wasn't like they wanted him to do it immediately. It was like, we're going to work you in, but and then when the owner, love him, hate him, whatever, when he flies out
in
to
Kansas City.
for 2 days to talk to you about it, and then your answer is still like, well, no. What do you think is going to happen? They're
Right.
going to trade you.
And it wasn't much longer after that he got
And maybe
traded.
that was him calling their bluff, and they said, well, no, we're going to get rid of you for a bag of donuts.
which is pretty much what they got. So on that too, like, so he went to DH. They said they didn't talk. I mean, we had speculated us in Woonsocket months before they signed Bregman
Yep.
that he was coming to Boston. If we could see it, his agent must have seen it. He must have seen it. He even said we need to get better players in here.
Right.
They did. They got an upgrade. Bregman was an upgrade. And he reluctantly went to DH, as you mentioned, after being one of the worst third basemen. He wasn't asked to play first at that time because at the time, Tristan Casas was your everyday first baseman.
Who?
Exactly. For 1 month. That was, 16 months ago now. He goes down with an injury. Hey, Rafi, we want to keep you bat in the lineup. Would you like to, can we put you at first? And he tells him basically to pound sand.
Yep.
And that's the part we don't understand is when you get someone like a Rafaela, granted, not at the same level as a Devers at the time, playing second base and center field. You have Mookie Betts, who's now playing shortstop for the Dodgers, who played right field and second base for the Red Sox. So that's where Devers soured on a lot of people. Is like
You don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure out they weren't bringing Bregman in to be the DH.
Right, exactly. Not as a Gold Glove third baseman. This wasn't the A-Rod Jeter situation.
Things played out like they were going to play out, and I don't blame the Red Sox for moving on from him. And maybe there's always that like, well, is that all they got? I mean, you can go back. To the Joe Thornton trade, and all these
Right.
trades, it's like, when someone wants out, they want out. And
Yep.
unfortunately, you lose out on all the leverage and getting what you want
Yep.
back. Although, I always, and I think we've talked about this before, I love going down that rabbit hole of like, well, what did that trade end up turning into?
Yeah. And where does this guy,
yeah.
what did that yield you on this guy? And
Yeah, so and if you tie, they moved a lot of those players on in the trade to Milwaukee, which is kind of Durbin's still a part of that deal, and
Yeah.
and
Durbin's now hitting well.
and Monasterio came
Right.
over in that deal, so those guys have been solid contributors, certainly. So
He
is what
did
it
go
is.
1 for 3. Struck
he did
out
hit
looking.
a bomb. He did hit a bomb last night.
Yes, he did.
Straightaway center
helped
to the
make him come
deepest
back.
part of the field.
Right.
unfortunately.
Duran also hit a triple out to the deepest part of the field. Didn't go over. Got a stand-up triple.
But Contreras hit an absolute shot last night.
They
It
always
was
said
an longest in MLB or in Fenway.
in Fenway.
450, but it was to the moon.
Right. That thing, he knew it. Everybody
Yeah,
knew it.
yeah,
It was
it
a
was-
3-run bomb. They were down 1-0 at the time. Good, clutch home run. So all right. So on Devers, I think you'll see a smattering of boos and cheers for the rest of the weekend, and then they won't see him again for another 3 years.
2 triples last night too.
Yeah, there was two.
Duran and Abreu.
Yeah, Abreu went in head
I'm
first.
surprised I didn't call that an error
I thought
on that right fielder.
Yeah, that very rarely. It hit his
But
glove.
I
He
did
was-
say like, how do you not make that play? And then as a major, and my wife, was I talked to myself a lot.
Yeah.
But
strange looks from you.
I thought for sure they would have that down as an error, but now I'm seeing in the box score though they gave him
they
a
gave
triple,
him
his
the
fourth triple of the season. Which
The
was,
right fielder was going back on the ball, kind of misplayed it, jumped, hit
a
off the
step
side
in.
of his glove. Yeah, the famous take a step in. That happens at all levels.
It's a killer.
So all right. More importantly, on the Red Sox, they are now 7 out of first, so that's getting a little bit tougher. Where they were, I think they got to within 4.5 or 5 games of first. They got to within a half a game of the Yankees for second place. So right now, the Sox do sit 7 games out of first, 3 games out of the second place behind the Yankees. So they do have another
4 games.
4 games behind the Yankees. They do have another series with the Yankees coming up. But
6 games up in the wild card though.
right, that's the key. And
95.7% chance to make the playoffs.
I did not know that. If they play 500 ball the rest of the way, they'll finish with 86 wins. We talked about last year. 83 is the least amount that got you in under the current format. 86 seems like a safe bet. I'd like to see them a little bit closer to the 90, just to make sure they're in. See if they can catch the Yankees if possible.
It is funny if you look at the standings.
Yeah, it's
the only 3 teams that are higher than 70% to make the playoffs are the Red Sox, Yankees, and Rays.
yeah.
Everyone else is the White Sox are 69.7%, and that's it.
The
And
White
then it
Sox
drops.
should take the Central.
Right. I mean, so they should get in because they're going to win the Central. Or they
Right.
should win the Central. Houston is
Houston,
probably, although that's
No,
tight.
it's only one game difference between the Astros, who are winning the West with a
Texas.
65 and
Funny.
64 record,
It's funny, though, but
and the Rangers are 64 and 65.
they have a
one game behind
39.9% chance of making the playoffs, but Houston has a 59.1 chance.
That's
But there's only a game difference
And
between
they're
them
only-
in the division.
I guess you could say that the Astros are 2 games up on the wild card right now over the
Right.
Twins. They're 1 game up on the Rangers. The Rangers currently hold the 3rd and last wild card spot, but they're only 1 game up on the Twins, the Guardians. They're 1.5 up on the Blue Jays, 2 up on the Orioles. You hear that, Marty? Your Orioles are still in it. 2.5 up on the Tigers, and 3 on the Mariners. I mean, that's
crazy.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or 8 teams that are all within 3 games of each other for either the West or the 3rd and last wild card spot. So I think that's why the Red Sox are such a heavy favorite now to get that, what do you say, almost 96% chance of making the playoffs, because all those teams that we just mentioned, they're all going to be playing each other,
Right.
and just knocking each other off. No one has stepped up. I mean, the Rangers are 64 and 65. You're looking at right now an under 500 team making the playoffs, which I hate it when it happened in football. One time a 7-9 team got in. I think an 8-9 team when they went to 17 games has made it in. I don't know. It just seems like if you can't play better than 500, you really don't deserve to get in. In the West, there's an interesting wild card going on. Not as many teams, but you have the Padres are 1 game up on the Diamondbacks for the 3rd and final wild card spot, and the Padres are only 2 games behind the Phillies, lurking just below the Cardinals at 3.5 out of the last wild card spot, and the Marlins at 4. Then there's a drop off down to Pittsburgh at 6.5. So there's not as many teams involved, but you do have some interesting races, which is great for baseball.
Yeah.
Going down the stretch as getting an inch closer and closer to September. Now the season ends in about 5 weeks now for baseball. So as they start the playoffs a little bit earlier, so big series here for the Sox. I think it's important to get that sweep. I'd still like to see them contend for that. For a higher wild card spot, secure any sort of home field that you can, and if you can make a run at Tampa, they're only 4 and 6 in their last 10 games. I don't know. I'd like to see it. I don't think they have a chance at it. I don't know how you feel, but
It'll be tough at this point in the year. It'll be tough, but I don't know if they do face them in September.
yeah.
I think they're done. Oh no, they have a 4-game set against New York coming up in next week. So they got 3. They finish out San Francisco, then they get 3 down to Miami, and then they're in New York for 4. So that's a big stretch.
Right. So, and we know the Sox started their great run by a sweep of the Yankees. Granted, that was at home,
true.
but at the time, the Sox were one of the worst home teams in the league. And interestingly enough, since they got hot, they're like 19-0 or 19-1 against teams over 500. But I heard the other day, I think they are 18-13 against teams that are below 500. So they're actually playing, which is good for the playoffs. That you're playing better against above 500 teams, but they have to beat the Giants this weekend.
Yeah.
To close that out.
The Marlins. Marlins? They still Marlins? They are.
The Marlins.
I don't know. You never know.
Though they are fighting for a playoff spot, they are hovering around 500, but not knock them out.
I did hear last night they lead the league since the All-Star break in home runs and runs scored.
The Marlins?
The Red Sox.
Oh, I'm like, okay, sorry.
Not the Marlins.
And home runs since the All-Star break.
runs
And that was a big
and
knock.
runs scored. Yeah.
That was a big knock on the Sox. And as you mentioned, Contreras last night. What
It
an
was an
absolute bomb.
shot. They think they had 3 the night before.
Right.
With
They did lose that game.
Duran hit one, and then your guy Mickey.
Yeah, Mickey Gasper.
hit 2.
Sogard led off the whole game, and then Gasper does have 2, but he only hit 1 that game. He hit 3 games in a row. He had a home run. Him and Rafael are the only ones to hit a home run in all 3 games of a series this year. That I know.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but yeah, my boy Mickey Gasper, Christian Campbell's binky. So it's maybe call up Campbell. Maybe he'll do well with Gasper's up there.
This is true.
All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we will get into the Patriots. They got a big preseason. Well, how big? They got a preseason game tonight.
Huge.
Huge, exactly. Against the Philadelphia Eagles, where they've been joint practicing, not fighting, but joint practicing with the Eagles this week, and to mostly positive reviews from what I've read. So, and you have any thoughts on the Sox or anything else that we've talked about, or the upcoming Patriots? Give us a call, 401-766-1240, and we'll be back on ON Radio 99.5 FM, 1240 AM, OneSocketRadio.com right after this.
Thinking about buying a home, refinancing your mortgage, or tapping into your home's equity? SCU has lending solutions to help. If you recently financed a car, let SCU run the numbers. You may be surprised by how much you could save each month by refinancing. Learn more at scucu.com or stop by one of their convenient branch locations. SCU is a member-owned credit union with personal service, a full range of banking products, and easy digital banking. Visit scucu.com or stop in, ask questions, see if SCU is a good fit for you.
Your certified Buick GMC dealer serving drivers throughout Woonsocket and the surrounding areas is Tasca Buick GMC. At Tasca, you'll find a solid selection of new Buick GMC models, as well as a carefully inspected lineup of pre-owned vehicles. They also have a well-connected finance center run by a qualified team of finance experts who can help you get the right loan or lease in a quick, easy, and transparent manner. Tasca Buick GMC, 55 Fortin Drive, Woonsocket. Visit TascaBuickGMC.com. Tasca Buick GMC. You will be satisfied.
If you want your yard to be the envy of the neighborhood, then you need to contact Rosato & Sons of Westboro. They've been turning outdoor visions into reality across Massachusetts for more than 37 years. From custom patios, walkways, and outdoor kitchens to low-maintenance water features and landscape lighting. Looking for routine lawn maintenance, irrigation, or seasonal color? Rosato & Sons has you covered. They are a full-service landscaping firm doing it all in-house for unmatched quality and reliability. When you're ready to elevate your outdoor living, visit rosatoandsons.com to request your free estimate. Rosato & Sons of Westboro, where beautiful landscapes aren't an expense, they're an investment.
A world-class distributor of all things electrical is Electrical Wholesalers. They are a full-service electrical distributor with branches throughout Rhode Island, Massachusetts, and New Hampshire. Locally, they're at 113 Clinton Street next to KFC here in Woonsocket, with other locations in Cranston and Franklin, Massachusetts. Electrical Wholesalers provides the highest quality service to electrical contractors as well as residential, commercial, and industrial customers. Electrical Wholesalers is open Monday through Friday, 7 in the morning till 5 in the afternoon. Visit ew-ne.com. Electrical Wholesalers. If you're celebrating a major event, regardless of the reason, Michael's Meats of Cumberland can elevate your next meal from ordinary to extraordinary with meats so good your guests will ask you where you got them. Tell them Michael's Meats. Michael's Meats is in the Walgreens parking lot on Mendon Road in Cumberland, just north of the Ciabro Plaza. They're open Monday through Saturday at 9 a.m., making your next meal truly special. Here's this week's specials at Michael's Meats.
And Michael's has fresh chicken drumsticks for just 98 cents a pound. So give them a call, 401-305-5555. Michael's Meat. And welcome back to the Cheap Seats with Pat and Kevin. Okay, we talked probably more West Coast baseball than we've ever we've talked about, and the Dodgers and Shohei, but good to show our national appeal. The little Red Sox. Let's all right. The Patriots. Last thoughts on the 13-13 tie, which I can't believe I have one. Is they mentioned that. With Borregales going 2 for 5, that there was a new long snapper that he may not have been used to. Now, you were at the game. I was at the game. I didn't see anything egregious. Maybe the long snapper snapped it, 2 miles an hour slower than what the regular long snapper does. I don't know. But they must have saw enough in it because they released him after that game, the long snapper, and did not bring in any replacements for Borealis, who in the next practice, in like a controlled scrimmage type of situation, did go 4 for 5. His only miss was a wide left. And I don't know if you've ever been to a training camp in Foxborough, the field goal posts on the practice field are half the width of a normal field goal post, and the one he missed was just wide left, meaning it would have been good on the Gillette Stadium turf. So the Patriots did get rid of that long snapper, whose name escapes me right now. They did sign a veteran offensive lineman, Greg Van Roten, 36 years old. He's played for the Packers, the Panthers, the Jets, the Bills, the Raiders, and most recently the Giants. 6'3", 305-pounder. The big thing with him, he doesn't miss games. The only game he missed was like that game against the Bills where the guy got seriously hurt, the safety, and they suspended the game. So they didn't. I don't think they resumed it. So he got a 16-game season instead of a 17. So he has played every game for like the last 4 years. So the guy's resilient. He's 36. So that was a big practice coming from the big signing coming over from the Giants. So that name again is Greg Van Roten. So nice, and they released a tight end to get him. What are you looking for out of tonight's game, Pat? If anything specific?
Yeah, they released tight end Mitch Van Voren, so apparently you can't have two guys that have the Van name in it.
That's one of those NFL rules. They worked it out in the collective bargaining agreement.
You have to offset
it. Trade out one van for another van.
What do I think? What do I think about the kicking thing?
Oh, no, just about tonight's game. I guess I'm looking at Borealis a bit, but...
I saw a lot of footage from this week's in a squad kind of practicing type things, and it looked like the wide receivers were just absolutely dominating the Eagles' defensive backfield. 1v1 drills were like ridiculous, even down to Kyle Williams was actually toasting. Is it DeJean, who's their safety?
Yeah.
Just like, hey, follow me. Oh, no, I went this way. You went that way. Like completely. A.J. Brown looked great. All things looking equal. Like it looks like the wide receiver mix in the Patriots locker room really just.
I even heard Matt Collins had a good week of practice as well, and he, as we discussed last week, didn't have the strongest game of the wide receivers that did play in the game. We mentioned a couple of drops that he had, but he rebounded well this week as well.
So we'll see tonight. We won't see probably any of those guys in tonight's game, but I'm feeling pretty good about this group. Again, coming out, I don't think there's going to be any drop off versus last year, although outside of the fact that they have a harder schedule, their record might be as good, but I think they're going to be quality games that we're watching. I don't think there's going to be any drop off. Obviously, the unknown is the contract negotiations that we've kind of talked about off the air a little bit, but.
And for those that may have missed it, 4.3 seconds after we signed off last week, Devin Witherspoon of the Seattle Seahawks signed a 4-year, $132 million contract, $110 which was guaranteed. The reason why we bring that up all the time is him and Christian Gonzalez share the same agent. I mentioned to you before the show started, I read an article through Nesson today. I think they were quoting Adam Schefter as well. That says Gonzalez may want $35 million a year, which I'd be surprised if that's what he's holding out for, based on Witherspoon's. He got drafted a little bit lower, so I can't imagine he might get more than Witherspoon, but he can hold out for as long as he wants.
I think to him he's probably saying, well, but. There was, I don't know if you made a reference or I saw a reference somewhere about Greg Bedard saying, he was a good quarterback away from being beat twice in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, Bedard, who's been on the
agree with
show, was put out a tweet and basically just playing devil's advocate on Christian Gonzalez. And make no mistake, he wants him back on the Patriots. Thinks he should be back on the Patriots.
But
he said if Sam Darnold was a better quarterback, Gonzalez may have been burned twice by Smith.
And if my aunt had,
exactly.
You can say that every day, but yeah.
Right, but he wasn't, and Donald did whatever. The pressure was on him.
If the Patriots scored 7 touchdowns, they would have won. No. I don't put a lot of stock in that. I like Greg a lot, and I mean, he obviously has a lot of the inside information.
Right,
but I don't know if he would have been beat if there was a better quarterback there.
And I think he was just playing devil's advocate for the people that said, "Oh, just give Gonzalez whatever he wants." Well, be careful on what you give him.
No, but people are saying, well, he guarded, Seattle's number one wide receiver and kept him at bay, and he got paid $40 million. So he's probably saying, well, if I covered this $40 million guy and shut him down, and no one else seemed to have been able to, then maybe I'm worth a little bit more than 35.
So the point of Christian Gonzalez holding out right now is, I guess, the big question. And will this stretch into the regular season? Because obviously the Patriots are not playing their starters in the preseason game, and he is under contract, which means he won't be making money.
We'll know when the regular season starts. If it's going to stretch out and he's actually not going to play because of it,
right?
Then it'll be a bigger issue. There's also been rumors, and I think Greg actually mentioned it a few weeks back, that there was potentially some conversation about he wanted his contract tied to a percentage of the salary cap.
Yeah, I hadn't heard
that. Some absurd, 18%, so, which means anytime the salary cap goes up, which is annually,
right, he gets a
bump. As opposed to, hey, I'm going to sign for $35 million and be the highest paid cornerback today.
But
then tomorrow. It doesn't matter.
Right. So that's interesting. I don't know. Maybe they're out there. I don't know if anybody else's contract tied to the salary cap and the percentage. 18% is a lot for a 53-man roster. Don't forget they also keep an additional, I believe it's 8, it might be 10 on the practice squad. Obviously they don't get paid as much, but you have over 60 players under contract, and Drake May is going to be in the exact same situation that Gonzalez is in next year at this time, still under team control. But now you're starting to get into franchise tags, everything that the players don't want. And did they say? And Greg did say on our show is Gonzalez is under Patriots control basically for counting this season, 3 more seasons. So
1 plus. They could
franchise. You can franchise them twice, right? Yeah. So for 3 more years. So interesting. What's going to happen there? Kraft did say, we offered him the highest paid cornerback position, salary going. What does that mean in this era of salary cap? How much of it was guaranteed? $1 million or all $132 million or whatever they offered him. So it's tough to tell. There is people out there saying he legitimately is hurt. If this was the playoffs or even a late regular season game, he might be playing, but they're also holding him out because of the injury as well.
That he took a hard bump, or he went up for a play and came down really hard on his hip.
Yeah.
Not a huge issue, but he was, kind of bothered by it. So
all right. And so coming out of this week as well, the joint practices have been ramping up. There was another fight. I think the Dolphins were in a fight with who they're joint practicing with. The big one that made the news was 2 days ago. The Saints and the Cowboys in a joint practice where the players, each team got fined. I believe it was $500,000 for their fight. For you WWE fans out there, you may want to pay attention to this. Saints tight end rookie Brock Rechsteiner, we'll just shorten that last name to son of WWE or former WWE wrestler Scott Steiner, who many, if you watched WWF back in the day, Scott Steiner was known as Big Papa Pump for his huge biceps, steroid-enhanced biceps. He's the nephew of Rick Steiner, who also wrestled at University of Michigan, not nearly as big as his brother Scott. They said, and this is a quote, that Brock, we'll just call him Brock Steiner for his future career anyway, did a German suplex when he was attacked from behind by Cowboy safety Jalen Thompson. He turned and did a suplex on the field, and looks to be picking up a majority of the fines. However, he's already been suspended for the first 6 games of the regular season for substance abuse. So just so his job's in jeopardy with the Saints already. Being in just go to the WWE where they kind of glance a second. Don't look twice at that.
Not as regulated.
Not as regulated. So
we'll say that.
Scott Steiner was in a big feud with legitimate hatred of the Hulk Hogan fights, like legitimate backstage fights that they got on planes and locker rooms and things like that. So interesting goings on with the Saints working in a WWE talk as well. 28 of the 32 teams do joint practices now, and not that the preseason games were great to begin with, but at least you saw Drake May last year, limited as it was. Now you're not even going to see him this year. Never mind the wide receivers.
I'm fine with that.
Not playing at all in front of the 50 or so thousand people. Again, I said it last year. I'll say it's a scam.
You say it as a ticket holder.
Yeah, these preseason games are a scam. They're scamming the general public.
Those are the ones they give away.
Yeah, you're still going to pay for them. Oh, they lowered the price of the preseason, but they jacked up the price of the Dolphins in the game and the Steeler game. Oh, but we lowered the Jets price. They do tier pricing. Yeah, as long as you agree not that you don't want to leave. You can park on the way back, which I did do last year. But it's a scam. They're scamming people out of their money. It's unbelievable. The joint practices are open to the public.
This is
hey, come see us play. Oh, you're not going to see anybody play. Go watch the kicking competition.
Drake May play and get hurt by some Scott
Steiner's
kid.
Well, he's going to get hurt in the joint practices anyway. The joint practices are equaling fights.
Yeah,
anyway,
but they're not hitting the quarterbacks.
That's supposed to. Jameis Winston got into a fight.
Imagine that.
And he's like the most soft-spoken guy, they said. And he got into a fight the other day in these joint practices.
Probably because somebody said something about how ridiculous he looked during the World Cup trying to be the... I'm just kidding.
So, no, I don't know. I'm not a fan. The fact that Drake May, none of these guys are playing, but give us your hard-earned money.
Kevin is not a fan of the starters not playing in the preseason.
You got to give them a look. You put them out there.
They looked at him all
in
week.
Joint practices. It bothers me. Obviously, it bothers me.
But they are professional athletes. If you don't think that they can play because they didn't play in the preseason game, then there's a bigger issue.
Look, if I go to a preseason game and Sonny Gray for baseball, if I go to a preseason baseball game and Sonny Gray pitches in it, he might only give me 2 innings as he works up his arm to play. He's also practicing all week. It's Wilson Contreras might get 2 at bats early, and then he goes golfing. He gets a couple, but he might
game.
But he might get hurt when he does
game.
that. What happens if he gets hurt in the preseason game?
Not every game.
He played most of the games. Then they have
in the preseason.
They play a lot. They build up.
You have to build up when you're playing 162 games.
They're playing 17 games now.
They're not getting tackled.
All right. Well, scam number 2 is tonight. I believe it's 7:30 against the Philadelphia Eagles.
Kevin's complaint is duly noted, Mr. Kraft. I have it.
Yeah, I'm sure he's listening. So, of note, we did not get to thoughts and prayers. Tommy John passed away this past week at age 83. Sad news. He had penned a letter to Yankee fans about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, as he entered hospice care. And people may not know just what a great pitcher he was for 26 years. People just know him for the arm surgery that every single person now gets in baseball, and it's because of Tommy John. So that's just gonna just about do it for us in the Chief Seats this week. I get all riled up on these preseason games. Brother Joe gets riled up on the announcers. I get riled up on who's not playing. So we want to thank you for joining us in the Chief Seats with Pat and Kevin here on Woonie TV, on YouTube, on ON Radio 99.5 FM, 1240 AM, and WoodSocketRadio.com. Have a great weekend, everybody.